We're here with North Carolina Central University head coach Jerry Mack. Coach, if you could just take us back to the loss, 13-10 to Bethune-Cookman this past weekend.
Prefer not to, but just one of those situations where I thought our guys played well enough to win the game at the end. Some circumstances, some things occurred where we just could not overcome the Hail Mary, and whoever thinks that something like that is going to happen in the course of a game. But it did, and I thought our guys fought hard throughout the game. We got the touchdown there at the last few seconds of the game, put us in position to have some success, but still could not overcome the last play of the game. So, hearts out to all our seniors, hearts out to all our players to lose a game like that.
I think a lot of people some people would say, well, Central's not playing for anything this weekend, but I'm sure everybody in this locker room or in this building would disagree. There's still plenty to play for, so many different levels, but you can kind of talk about the message to your team, what you guys are playing for this week.
Well, there's so many people in the country that would love to put on a pair of shoulder pads again and go out there and play football. So definitely, anytime you get an opportunity to go play college football on this type of stage, that's something to play for in itself. But also, too, to get a chance to play in the Aggie Eagle Classic, that's just something that's a game kind of within itself. A lot of these guys, they played against some of those guys on North Carolina A&T teams over the years, whether it was high school or Pee Wee football, and to have an opportunity to do that. And then we're playing for an 8th win. That's something that, we will take pride in, to get a chance to go out there and play a national opponent for, hopefully, what can be our 8th win of the season.
Are you guys approaching this like it's your bowl game, your conference championship game, that kind of mentality, and attacking it that way?
I think you have to. I mean, this is kind of our version of the Super Bowl, because a lot of these guys is going to be a lot of our young men last time ever putting on a pair of shoulder pads for the rest of their life. So, you want to go out there, you want to have the best performance possible that you can in the last game of the season.
Yeah, of course, you're also playing for bragging rights.
Yeah, that's always, over the last 4 years, one thing about this rivalry that I see is that, you got bragging rights for 365 days out of the year. In 2015, when A&T went off to win the Celebration Bowl and were national champions, we beat them that year, and, that was bragging rights for us. So we're trying to do something similar this year.
How have you guys had their number over the past few years? I think you have a 3-game winning streak over A&T. What is it that you guys do right against this program that has been top-notch, just like you guys?
Well, I don't think it's anything specifically that we do for that game. I think it's our guys, just for whatever the reason we've been playing well the last 3 years in that particular game. We've kind of played a little bit out of body at times, but usually besides last year, the first 2 years, the game was always close. Some ball bounces their way sometimes, the ball bounces our way. It just happened to bounce our way a little bit more than it had for them in the last couple of years.
How long do you think it'll take them, your players, to snap out of what happened this past weekend and realize what's ahead of them, how big of a rivalry this is, and how important it is to finish the season off getting the win over your arch rival?
Well, the process starts today. As far as getting out there on the grass, I told the players that each day is going to get a little bit better. Sunday, obviously, a lot of people were still in shock. A lot of people were still heartbroken. Monday, we got over here, watched film, start really game planning for North Carolina A&T. And now today is the first day we get a chance to get on the grass, to move around and kind of see their different looks and what they bring to the table. So I think it's all a process. It's not going to all of a sudden happen overnight, but as we get out there and continue to work and progress toward this team and this opponent, I think it's going to start to calm down some.
Coach, the other day, at the end of the game the other day, I saw a lot of your guys, down on the ground and crying and whatnot and everything. Can you just speak on, what that, losing a game like that, what that meant, because, sometimes you don't see an emotion out of players, but I saw a lot of emotion from your players the other day.
Well, I think it's more about the way we lost the game. I mean, I think players and coaches, we can handle losing games. That's part of the process. But when you lose a game that really you're dominating the stat sheet, and then you lose a game on the last second of a game, that just kind of, that hurts you. That's kind of like sticking a knife in your heart. And I think that's what you saw. You saw that, not only that emotion from our players, you saw that from our fans, you saw that from our coaches, you saw that from their families. Everybody was just kind of stunned more than anything, I think, on Saturday.
Do you have any concerns about them snapping out of it or whatnot, or do you think it'll take just a few days, a few practices or whatever for them to realize, to put that in the past and focus? What are your concerns with this week of practice?
My concerns are really on are we going to go out there and we play well on Saturday? That's the biggest thing. As far as our preparation throughout the week, it's not going to change at all. I think our guys are mature enough and they're growing as they grow into young men to understand that go out there and practice and we're going to give everything that we got on Saturday to go out there and try to beat A&T. So I'm not so much worried about as far as when we snap out of it. I think we're working toward that, and I think we're getting there. I think by the end of the day, once we get out the practice field today, it'll be done.
For the first time in your 4 years here, you won't be playing for any kind of championship of any kind. Can you just kind of, just put that into summary there?
It's different, obviously, because it's the first time this program has been in that situation in the last 4 years. But I do think that because of the type of game and the caliber of game that we're playing in, to play on ESPN, I think it's going to be on ESPN3, and obviously being our rival, I think that's something that, has a life of its own. And that's what I think we're going to be able to thrive on and build off of this upcoming Saturday.
How much would this kind of sweeten the deal or kind of savor the season a little bit to, if you can put a blemish on their record? Regardless they're going on, regardless what they do in Atlanta, but you can look at their record and see whatever and won. How much would that, kind of sweeten the deal, sweeten the season for you guys?
Well, I don't think it's so much about them as it is about us. We would like to end the season on a winning note. I think every program in the country would like to have something to build on going into the off season and to make sure they understand that we got 8 wins this year. Hopefully, we did end the season with a win for the last game of the season. So that's something we focus on more than anything. As far as what they've accomplished, that's awesome, and I think that's great. But we're not so much worried about trying to put a blemish on their record as we're trying to focus on trying to build for something in 2018.
How do you? Oh, I guess you won't know until Saturday, but kind of keeping the emotions in check for your guys. Last game of the season, seniors, last game of their career, and they're playing their rivals. At times this year, you guys haven't been that disciplined on either side of the ball, actually. How do you keep those emotions in check and make sure it doesn't get too chippy and no extracurricular stuff goes on during the game?
Well, I think as coaches, you got to continue to talk to them about it, and then we start that today. We talk to them about it as the week goes on. I think the officials have to do a great job of making sure that they do a good job of controlling the game. And I think if you do those two pieces, if both parties do their part, I think we shouldn't have any problems no matter what the outcome on Saturday.
How's this A&T team compared? They're obviously undefeated, pretty talented team. When you look at them on film, what jumps out about them?
The execution on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. I think they're doing a great job, probably one of the best jobs they've done since I've been here, of distributing the ball to a lot of different people on the offense side of the ball. On the defense side of the ball, they're always strong, and they continue to play strong as a unit on defense. They have some extraordinary players, obviously, but at the end of the day, they know how to play team football, and that's something that takes a lot of chemistry and that takes some maturity to do.
Does it? I don't know if I want to use the word help, but does it kind of play to you guys' advantage that the last 3 years you guys have come to this game always as the underdog?
I think so, but I really don't know. I mean, we go out there and we just try to do what we do. We try to use any leverage we can as motivation, obviously, every year. And I think we've been the underdog 3 years and we've won 3 years. But the great thing about football is every year presents a new challenge. This ain't the same team as last year. They're not the same team as last year. So the only thing we can do is just try to go out there and take what they got this year and try to beat them.
You talked about how well they've been executed this year. Is this the best A&T team that you're going to go up against during your tenure here as the NCCU coach?
I don't think they're the best, but I think all 3 or all 4 of their teams have really been good. I don't think one sticks out more than the other. They all been somewhat different. The last few years they've had Tyreek, so he's been a big part of their success. And then this year, Lamar Raynard is playing really well, and Marquel Cartwright's doing a good job on the offense side of the ball. So they're all just different. All of them are good. All of them are ranked in the top 25. So I don't think any of them are any more special than others.
From what we've seen, the video clips we've been able to see, you give pretty inspiring and great pregame speeches. Is the A&T game one where you realize you have to say a little less because the guys are already so fired up and ready to run through a brick wall anyway?
Well, we talk about that all the time as coaches. If we have to fire you up this week to get you going, it's probably not meant for you to play college football because this is the rival. All across college football, whether it's Alabama and Auburn or whether it's Michigan and Ohio State, this is kind of our version of that aspect. This rivalry runs deep. It goes back a long way, and guys should be excited to go out there and have a chance to do this.
Do you kind of gather what you're going to say before the games, or just go off the top of the head when you go in there in the locker room?
To be honest with you, a lot of times off the top of the head, it's what kind of whatever the mood is, whatever I feel like the vibe of the team is, and that's kind of where I get my encouragement or where I get my motivation from.
Do you get? I know as a coach, you're locked in, and just the next game is the game. But do you feel yourself? You get a little extra fired up for the A&T game?
Somewhat. I think it's more so when we go out there on Saturday. The things that we do during the week, we just prepare for them just like it's any normal game. But obviously, you feel the intensity and you feel the rivalry when you get to the stadium on that Saturday morning. And so that kind of carries you and feeds you throughout the game.
Can you describe your emotions and what your thought process on that last play from last week, and just kind of what you went through as you watched the ball in the air and then saw the guy catch?
It felt like a dream. It almost felt like you were dreaming and you wanted to wake up really fast. The emotions to go from so high to so low so fast, to throw that touchdown and to put ourselves in a position to win the game, and then probably less than 2-3 minutes later, you're walking out the field with a loss. So I think more than anything, it was just a stun and amazement, more than anything for all of us.
What is it going to take, Coach? I mean, basically, you guys are going to go into this game not favored to win. Again, it's been like that all the previous years, but this year has a little bit of a different tone to it because A&T has the perfect record, top 10, FCS, MEAC not on the line. So you guys are not going to be favored. What is it going to take for you guys to pull off another upset over the Aggies?
We're going to play the game of our life. No different than every other year. We played really well the last few years against this team because they are the best or one of the best teams that we play every single year. And this year is no different. It's the same way. We're going to have to play almost kind of somewhat of a flawless game. We're going to play well in all phases of the game. We can't turn the ball over. One thing they don't do, they don't make a lot of mistakes. They don't do a lot of things to beat themselves, whether it's penalties or turnovers. So, for us, that's going to be a challenge. So we have to, once again, we're going to have to play a great game.
And we've got Roderick Tijeras with us today. Can you talk about him and what he's meant to this program?
Rod's been great. When you talk about a guy that's done everything that coaches have asked him to do on and off the field, that's what Roderick Tijeras, to me, has meant to this program. When we came in 4 years ago, I think he was a redshirt freshman. He was hurt. He's been battling some injuries the first part of his career. Probably last year he started to emerge, and this year I would have never imagined that he would have had the type of year that he's had this year. He's going to be a candidate for all-conference selection this year, and Roger's been a lot to our program, and especially that defensive line. The defensive line has always been the heart and soul of our program as far as on the defense side of the ball, and he's a big part of that.
Do you have anyone on this roster who has lost to A&T? Well, I guess the seniors were redshirt guys that last time they lost.
We got 2 redshirt seniors, and that is Roderick Harris and that's Reggie Hunter. They didn't play in that game back in 2013.
All right. Well, I know this may be hard, but can you just take us back to Saturday's game against Bethune-Cookman?
I don't really like to bring it up because it's kind of in the past, but I mean it was a heartfelt loss. Just the way we lost, I guess that would hurt. That's what hurt the most. Just can't really replay it. Can't take it back. It's just one of those games we just gotta take it on the shoulder and move on from it, and just continue to play. We got one more game left this season. We got to go out and we got to handle business against A&T this week.
So I know you don't want to talk about it, but it's hard to avoid it. I'm sure Saturday or Sunday while you're flipping through your social media, that play probably popped up. Did you take the time to look at it? Have you watched the play?
Honestly, I maybe watched the play 2 times. It was really sickening to watch, honestly. Just being on my senior day, it was my last time playing in Kelly O'Reilly Stadium. So it was really really emotional. Like when the play happened, it was just like really emotional. It was almost like I don't want to watch it again. I watched it twice. I mean, it's just one of those things. You got to take it on the shoulder. It is what it is. You got to just move on from it.
How hard or easy, whichever you think, either or, will it be for you and your teammates to let it go? Let go what happened this past weekend and get refocused on what's ahead for your season finale and your rival this Saturday?
I'm gonna say it's kind of a little mix of both. It may be easier for some of the younger guys to kind of just let it go, because they kind of feel like, in a sense, almost they you know, we got another game, but they got another season as well. So me as a senior and a couple other of us, you know, like Reggie Hunter, Antonio Brown, and Jaquan Smith, you know, we've been in this program since 2013. So, you know, it's kind of hard, you know, kind of taking that on the shoulder. Just this, you know, that game was a heartfelt game, like you know. But it's one of those things you just got to put behind you, and you just got to focus on the next game that's approaching, which is A&T this upcoming week.
Based off that information you just gave, do you feel like the younger guys are going to have to step up this week in practice as far as being leaders and you know, helping the upperclassmen like you and the other seniors let go of what happened? Do you think they'll have to step up, and will that be something you maybe filter down to the young guys to say, hey, we need your help this week because this is it for us. It's not it for y'all, but we need your help getting ourselves back together for our run?
For sure. I will agree to that 100%. We got a lot of young guys on the team. So, you know, they really feed off of us just like we feed off of them. We need their energy just like they need our energy. You know, we try to guide them as much as we can throughout the season. So when a game like that happens, we want them to comfort us, and we want to comfort them. So we want them to be able to shake it off just like we can. So, yeah, it's going to be important for them to really come out this week with a whole lot of energy, more focused than ever. You know, a lot of them haven't played in this type of game. So, you know, with our wisdom and our guidance, we're going to help them get prepared for this week in this game.
Roderick, for the first time since Coach Mack's been here, this team will not be playing for a championship of any kind. No MEAC, no nothing. What kind of how can you put it into the summary? You know, this final game here is nothing on the line.
It's really, you know, it's really a lot on the line. You know, honestly, because like Coach Mack mentioned, we haven't lost to these guys in 3 years. I'm sorry, 3 years. So this game is a rivalry. You know, it's the school down the street. That's how we look at it. So with that being said, it is a lot to play for. It's not just, you know, it may not be a championship, it may not be a Celebration Bowl, but at the end of the day, for me and a couple of the seniors, this could be our last time ever putting on pads again in our life. So yeah, it really is it's an important game to us. Like, we're taking the focus and the energy, and we got to come out and prepare for these guys this week.
You guys could possibly play spoiler as well. Not only could it, you know, give them their first loss, but if Howard wins, you know, they won't be outright champions. They have to share with somebody else. How much does that motivate you guys that you can kind of play spoiler to their season a little bit?
It's a big motivation. Just the simple fact of, like, we want to beat them, period. I mean, we want to go out and play well and perform to the best of our ability. So, you know, just carrying on what we've done for the last 3 years. You know, so just taking that on the head, you know, just coming in this game prepared, preparation, ready, and just, you know, let the chips fall where they may.
Why have you guys been so successful against A&T these past 3 years? I mean, you two are the two dominant programs in this conference, and they bring just as much talent to the field as you guys do every year, sometimes even more talented. But the past 3 years, for some reason, you guys have had their number. Why?
Preparation. Preparation is key. You know, when you come in this game, you just want to prepare to the best of your ability. You want to be disciplined. You want to, you know, study film, watch, you know, everything that you possibly can for these guys. So, and just the intensity of this game, the magnitude of this game alone, you should just be ready for it, and you should be ready to play for it. I mean, just come out, you know, with that mindset, like, it's going to be a dogfight. So let's take this on the shoulder, let's take this on the head, and let's go in this game and, you know, like, play as best as we can, play hard as we can.
Can you, to someone who doesn't play, I mean, last year I was down on the field before the game, I was ready to play, I was so fired up. But can you describe what that energy is and what it feels like pregame or at first before kickoff, the energy on the field for someone who can't put on a helmet and just doesn't know what it feels like to be down there?
Oh man, the adrenaline rushes from head to toe. You be so fired up before pregame, like you be ready to play as soon as you step on that field. Like, it's just that simple. It's like the fans, the atmosphere, just the whole nine. You got that feeling in your body and in your mind and in your heart, like, let's go out and play. Let's play to the best of our ability. Let's make plays, and let's do what we do. Let's do what we know how to do. Let's do what we've been coached to do.
Between the lines, between whistles, how chippy does it get on the field out there?
Just like any other game. Everybody's going to come out and play you their hardest. So, it gets chippy, especially this game. It's a rivalry. It's a big rivalry. So each team is competing to win. So at the end of the day, it'd be a little chippiness, but it really is about discipline as well, though. So you don't want to have any bonehead penalties and make anything that's going to cause your team. So at the end of the day, you got to still be disciplined and play calm and, play football, play in between the lines.
You guys haven't been able to avoid bonehead penalties at times this year.
Right.
When you take that plus the emotion of this game, how do you kind of make sure you guys stay disciplined and not do anything to cost you guys?
Really just focusing up this week, this preparation of practice. Really, coaches always stress to us about discipline, being focused, being disciplined. So just going into this game, you just got to know, like, those penalties can cost us at any given time. So just being disciplined at all times, just play ball. You know what I'm saying? You don't need all the bonehead penalties and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, they've hurt us in the past, but going into this game, going into any other game, a new week. So a new week, new opportunity.
A&T is 10-0, and you talked about, doing the little extra things, watching film and all that. When you look at their offense, what do you see that kind of concerns you about them?
I mean, they're a good team. They're explosive. They're explosive. They have a good quarterback. He's pretty good. He's a good dude. He's a nice player. So just going into this game, like I said, watching film, watching the little things and keying in on, the plays that they may run and stuff like that, and being prepared to maybe stop them when the game comes Saturday.
Did you play over there a couple of years ago?
I did.
What was it like, that atmosphere? You all came out with the win over there. Yeah, I had to stop them there on that last drive and everything. But that atmosphere there over there, what was it like?
Oh, man, it's just like, it's almost like playing in our stadium. The fans, the fans and the atmosphere is just crazy. It's phenomenal. So just hearing the crowd and hearing your fans and your families and your friends and everything, it's just motivation. It's almost like motivation. It make you want to go out and play hard to the best of your ability, every play, every snap, every down. So yeah, it's almost like playing at home. It's almost the same atmosphere. It's gonna be real loud, real hostile. It's just like going into like any kind of loud environment. You just gotta stay poised, play the game that we know how to play.
Did you, growing up in South Carolina, did you follow this rivalry much in high school?
Honestly, I didn't. I really didn't know too much about it. I didn't even know too much about Central, honestly, till my senior year in high school. So, no, I didn't really know too much about it till I got here my freshman year, which I redshirted, but, I still was able to make it to the game and everything and see the atmosphere alone. So, it's just phenomenal. So, like, just to me, playing in this game, even though I didn't play my freshman year, my true freshman year, it's unbelievable, honestly. Just preparing for this game, you really don't even need to, like, prep yourself up. You should just be ready to go. That's how big the rivalry is.
How much sweeter? I know you guys like beating them regardless, but to end your career and beat them in Greensboro, how much more would that sweeten the deal for you as a senior?
Oh, man, it'll make me feel that much better, honestly. It'll make me feel better about myself, about the whole situation, the season and all. We'll have a total of 8 wins. That's a winning season. So, things may not fall how you want them to. Things happen for reasons we may not know. But, it is what it is. But going out with a win this week, that'll be a blessing to me. That'll make me smile. I'm sure to make everybody else on the team smile as well. So it's important to go out and play hard this weekend.
This has been an exclusive presentation of the NCCU Sports Network.